Yesterday we began the journey where over the next couple of days we're going to be looking at Isaiah 43 verse 19. And just to remind us of what the text says, I'll read it. It goes like this: "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Today, as we look at this verse and begin to unpack it, I can't help but to become fixated and focused on the very first word, and that is the word to behold. In this text, Isaiah tells us before anything that God is calling us to behold. And the word behold is kind of a strange word to me. No one really uses the word behold anymore. I can't tell you the last time I was kicking it with some of my friends and one of them said, "Behold, I just got new shoes." We just don't use that word anymore. It's old English. But when I started digging into the word, it made a lot more sense. When I looked at the backgrounds of the word behold, the word behold is really a simple word that means to look or to see or vision. In other words, the word behold has to do with our vision, where our eyes are fixed, what we're focusing on. It has to do with what we're looking to ultimately in our lives. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Isaiah started the text with this word, because we as humans will ultimately always, every time, go toward and become the things that we're beholding, the things we're looking to and focusing on. And that's because we begin to fall in love with the things that we're looking to. As a result of this, we actually begin in our lives to become what we love. Author and theologian James K.A. Smith says it best in one of his books: "You can't not be headed towards somewhere. We live leaning forward, bent on arriving at the place we long for. You are what you love because you live toward what you want." That's an incredible quote, packing powerful truth for our reality. And thinking about it, the fact that we are what we love, or we become what we love, I think that's why growing up our parents were always telling us what not to watch, or what not to listen to, or what not to look at. I remember being in middle school and I would burn copies of Tupac albums on blank discs so my mom couldn't know what they were. And at the time, I hated it. Like, man, my mom is killing my vibe. Why can't she just let me listen to what I want to listen to? But as I've grown older, I've begun to appreciate this practice of my mom limiting what I could take in. And I have to admit, my mom wasn't very strict. She was pretty balanced. But I appreciate her intentionality on limiting what I was beholding, because I now know she was trying to protect who I was becoming. And that is probably one of the most life-impacting truths that we can ever come to in our lives. The fact that we actually become the things we behold. Or to put it more simply, we turn into whatever we're fixed upon. So talking about this, one of my favorite authors puts it really simply: by beholding, we are to become changed. And as a result, what we meditate upon, when we meditate upon his perfections of the divine model, we should desire to become wholly transformed and renewed to the image of his purity. Essentially, Ellen White is saying here that we become what we're looking at. But more so, she makes it even clearer. If we want to become people who look more like the man Jesus Christ and act more like him, the only way that happens is by becoming fixated on him, by becoming enamored by who he is. Or in other words, as the old hymn tells us, the only way we become changed is by turning our eyes upon Jesus. And see, what begins to happen is, as a result of fixing our eyes on Jesus, our lives actually begin to change. But not only that, they begin to change in ways that we didn't even know needed changing. And so with all of this said today, I leave you with a question. Friends, what are you beholding? I'm not asking you to become legalistic and start looking through all of your movies and music. I did that in high school. I'd delete everything and re-download it. I'm not asking you to do that. But really what I'm asking is, what is your focus? What's the central focus of your life? What are you leaning toward and trying to become each and every day? And how are you changing? Every day we're changing. What are you turning into? Who are you becoming? As you ask yourself these hard questions, that's exactly what they are. They are really, really tough, really intruding, really difficult questions to ask ourselves. But as you ask yourself these questions, and as you begin to do the hard work of finding out who you really are. I want you to remember that wherever you are, no matter how messed up you may seem to be, real, genuine change always starts by looking to Jesus. You will never make changes you are desiring by beating yourself up or shaming yourself. You will only become the person you want to be by beholding and cherishing Jesus, by looking to him. And that's because I think life is a lot like riding a bike. You know, when you're riding a bike, there's all kinds of things in the road. There's potholes and trash and rough, rocky shoulders. And if we focus on the imperfections of the journey ahead, we will always, every time, fall right into them. If I look at the trash, I'll hit it. If I look at the pothole, I'll fall into it. But if we fix our eyes on our true destination, where we want to go, where we're headed, we will begin to notice that all of the junk goes into the rear view, and we will begin to ride right by all the stuff that used to mess us up. And I think that that's how our spiritual lives are. Our lives are always full of imperfections and shortcomings and sins. I mean, I know my life, I don't know yours, but my life is full of mess ups. And if I focus on those areas of mess up in my life, I will fall right into them. But if I begin to focus on Jesus, if I become fixated on Jesus and behold Jesus, what I know is this, that as I look at him, everything else begins to kind of take care of itself. All of my sin, all of my mess ups and shortcomings. Because as I behold him, I begin to change. The beautiful thing that we will learn is that none of the stuff that happens in our lives has to do with our good works or our ability to resist falling short. It all has to do with Jesus coming into our lives and offering us to know him. My prayer today is that you will begin this season of new beginnings by asking yourself the question, where am I focused? What am I looking to? And friends, I know this, as you behold Jesus, find hope in the reality that he has the power and the desire and the ability to make you new today and forevermore. God bless you.